If Senator McCain and Senator Graham and others want to go after somebody, they should go after me. And I'm happy to have that discussion with them. But for them to go after the UN ambassador, who had nothing to do with Benghazi, and was simply making a presentation based on intelligence that she had received, and to besmirch her reputation, is outrageous.
That was the president defending his ambassador to the United Nations, Susan Rice, back in November from an absolute torrent of vicious, constant, brutal political attacks led by Republicans John McCain and Lindsey Graham. All for her appearance on some Sunday talk shows in the wake of the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya, during which she outlined a set of talking points from intelligence officials on their best assessment at the time of what had just happened in Benghazi. Those talking points, we would later learn, were not prepared by Ambassador Rice or even edited by her in any way, shape, or form. But, nonetheless, the attacks against her were so intense that Susan Rice, who was then widely reported to be a top contender to replace Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State, had to give up that chance before it was even officially offered to her.
Out of the running, Susan Rice tells NBC News she is withdrawing her name for consideration as the next Secretary of State.
I withdrew my name because I think it's the right thing for the country. And I think it's the right thing for the president.
This is so dramatic. Susan Rice's many defenders, Brian, are trying to figure out how Republicans managed to deny the president his top choice for Secretary of State without benefit of a nomination or hearing.
Well, however they managed it, Republicans did do that. They did preemptively knock Susan Rice out as Secretary of State. But today, President Obama got the last laugh. Because today, the president announced none other than Susan Rice as his new national security advisor, a high-level, high-profile position that, crucially, does not require confirmation from the Senate. And John McCain, for his part, was left with no other recourse than to sputter around and issue a passive-aggressive tweet. Obviously, I disagree with POTUS' appointment of Susan Rice as National Security Advisor, but I'll make every effort to work with her on important issues. Yes, he will, because unfortunately for Senator McCain, he has no other choice. Joining me now is Joan Walsh, MSNBC political analyst, editor-at-large for Salon, and author of the book, What's the Matter with White People? Finding Our Way in the Next America. Okay. I just have to say, just to hammer this home, Susan Rice was so screwed on this whole Benghazi thing. She had nothing to do with it. Why was she the target? I still don't get it. Why did Lindsey Graham and John McCain, what do they have against Susan Rice?
I still don't get it either. I mean, you're right. John McCain, that was awesome. With his calling it passive-aggressive. Rand Paul was aggressive and accused her again, lied about her again, and said she was responsible for misleading the American people about Benghazi. When we got those, the talking points memos, and we saw, even in the weird ABC version and the White House official version, the one thing those versions agreed on was that Susan Rice had nothing to do with it. Her staff was not anywhere there. People said that she deserved an apology, and Lindsey Graham shot back, she deserves a subpoena. So they keep it up. I can't help but think it has something to do with her closeness to the president, her being a woman, all of the garbage about her being not very smart, according to Senator McCain, and incompetent, according to Lindsey Graham, has creepy gender and racial.
Okay, can I just say, I just want to say this also, and I want to talk about her new position because it's quite a powerful one.
Yes, it is.
But also, it's not the craziest theory to me that they were just trying to look out for their bro, John Kerry, who they've known for a long time, who is in the Senate with them, who served on committees with them. That, to me, at the end of the day, when John Kerry got this, and I'm not saying this to take away anything from John Kerry himself, but that also looked like what was going on.
That's what a Secretary of State is supposed to look like, and that's what they're used to. And then, I thought about it again today, too, because you had that incredible visual of the president standing there with Susan Rice and Samantha Power, two relatively young women, two people you couldn't imagine John McCain and Lindsey Graham singling out, or Mitt Romney putting, in his administration. So there's a powerful symbolism, and there's a break with that old boys network. I should say, of course, we've had women Secretary of State.
Yes, of course.
John Kerry got a little affirmative action there to get that position back for a man. So I want to make that clear.
Now, in this position, I think what's also fascinating about the twists and turns of Susan Rice and the sort of up and downs of her career in this is that, I mean, she's been, a very promising and very ambitious individual, real Washington star for quite some time. She took a real risk by endorsing Barack Obama very early on, and now she ends up in this position, which is in some ways more powerful. I think it's a good argument to be made in this White House than John Kerry himself.
Well, yeah, she's close to the president already. She's there. He's traveling the globe, and sure, she'll do some of that, but basically her job is to be at the president's
side. And she briefs him every day.
She briefs him every day. So you could say that she wound up with the more, that they helped give her the more powerful position, and I don't know what John Kerry thinks about that. I'm sure he's very happy with the job he has, but she's definitely kept her power, maybe consolidated her power, and is the person that the president wants in that role. And it's a good day. It's a good day. It's a good day when we saw him appoint 3
judges yesterday,
or nominate 3 judges yesterday, and it's a good day that he stuck to his guns and appointed Susan Rice in the face of all this crazy.
And Samantha Power is being nominated as a replacement. John McCain has said some positive things about her. It looks like she's going to have a relatively uncontroversial confirmation. She will replace Susan Rice as UN ambassador. And she's an amazing story of someone who's a journalist and a Pulitzer Prize winner and authored an encyclopedic history of American genocide, and America's role in genocide prevention. And the president read it, and now look where she is.
Right. No, she's an amazing person. She is has been a little bit too pro-intervention over the years, but she's backtracked and she's brilliant, and she'll do a great job.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's very interesting to see how this is going to shape the Syria conversation as we go forward.
And that's what we never get to. We don't get to discuss.
No, I don't. Lord knows what Susan Rice's politics are right now, because actually she was never allowed to go through the actual confirmation process where it might be aired in the Senate.
Right.
Joan Walsh, MSNBC political analyst. Thank you. Thanks. All right, we're getting very used to our nation's institutions failing us, but one of our most beloved, cherished institutions is not only failing, it's becoming a punchline for American excess. I'll tell you what it is next.